storage unit that has been sitting untouched for years? Well, you might be surprised to find valuable items hidden away that could be worth a small fortune. Joining us today is Matt Paxton, an expert from the hit new TV show Filthy Fortunes. He is here to share tips on how to uncover those hidden treasures and turn clutter into cash. So Matt, tell us, what is it about this show that just felt right to you?
You know, economics have changed over the last 15 years, and we used to donate everything and throw stuff away. And now families come to us, they really do need to get some money out of the trash that we're pulling out of the house. And so we started doing it privately about 10 years ago. We started selling a lot of the items just to recover some of the cleanup costs. And when Discovery came to me, they said, "Hey, do you find any cool stuff?" And we're like, "Man, we find a lot of cool stuff." And it's a really cool story. A couple producers, we all went to a house in LA, and none of us really knew if this was a show or not. And I just started, it was a hoarded house that I knew, and we started picking the garage. And within an hour, we had all found records that we loved, vinyl records and really cool posters from the 80s. And we were like, "Oh, yeah, this is a show. We can do this." And it was a really cool moment to realize, like, this is what we all want to do.
Some homes are probably more filthy than others. So tell us about the worst ones you have ever encountered.
Oh man, I took 300 cats out of one house. That was pretty rough. The 10,000 rats would probably be the worst house I've ever cleaned out. And they would all live in the walls. And so you'd walk into the house and it looked empty. And then the minute you dropped food on the ground, literally 10,000 rats would come out of the walls and they would just surround you. And you would hear 40,000 little feet running around. And I'll never forget that sound ever again in my life.
What advice do you have for families who just want to get rid of their relatives' stuff without even looking through it first? Could there be something valuable in there?
And I've learned a lot working with Dorothy. She's amazing. But yeah, we found a lot of the times with families, like you don't want to think that everything's worth something, but also don't think it's worth nothing because it's somewhere in between.
If we have saved stuff from childhood, like sports trading cards or other things, is there a chance they're worth something?
Make sure you get applied for season 2. I mean, that's the stuff we're looking for, right? Is those families come to us and say the exact same thing. "I've got 5 storage units, haven't looked at it in 30 years. It's really messy." Well, that is an equation for us. We love that no one's touched it for 30 years. We love that it's messy, and we love that there's going to be old stuff in the back of that storage unit. I mean, people forget that the 70s is 50 years ago. It's awesome, and it lets us know that we're going to find some really cool, valuable stuff there. Some of the movie posters are, absolutely. I mean, because they were limited edition. Like the old, I remember I had mine growing up. I had the Ferris Bueller's Day Off movie poster. The movie theater gave them all to us, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then I found one, and they gave away glasses too, like fake Ray-Bans. And we found those in a house, and they sold really well. They sold very well because there's just not many of those things left. Now, if you tell me you got a storage unit full of Beanie Babies, I'm not very interested because those were mass produced, right? And so, economics is a part of our job. I mean, we have to know what sells and how to sell it and where to sell it and how to maximize that value for the client as fast as possible. And but at the same time, we're cleaning the house out because the family needs an empty house when we're done.
What is the first thing that someone should look for when they're looking for a fortune among the filth?
Get rid of the plastic bags, paper bags, all the junk mail, the things that you know aren't worth anything. Pull your private pictures out of the way. And start to look the back is where the stuff is, right? The stuff at the front is probably not very valuable, but honestly, you do your research, like go online and see what something is sold for. Don't look for what it's listed for, look for what it's sold for, because what it's sold for is what it's actually worth, right? Something is only worth what an independent third party is willing to give you for it. That's what it's worth. So don't live in a fake world of what I think it's worth or what my dad said it was worth. It's worth what someone will pay you for it. And so look online, see what it's sold for. And if you're not ready to sell it, that's okay. But if you don't care either way, man, sell it. A dollar's better than nothing. A dollar is better than you paying $150 a month to store it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being with us, Matt. Now we have got to run over to our storage units to see what fortunes are there.
Get some cool stuff. Well, I hope you sell some of the stuff. If not, apply for season 2 of Filthy Fortunes.
Thanks again.